Yo, YouTubers, it's the Greatest Noob, T-Bird325, and tonight I'm going to give you a special video. This video is going to be into a look into my mind, okay? The mind of the Greatest Noob, alright? The Greatest Noob wasn't always the Greatest Noob. He was a noob and a scrub, but wasn't very great at the game. When I first started, I'll let you guys know, I was doing some weird stuff. Like, in order to get my singing's effect, I would have my mother grizzly attack my own singing. And people let me. I didn't have very good teachers. Now, uh, it was quite crazy because I've evolved into a much better player and teacher than I was when I was a wee little baby as far as the Yu-Gi-Oh game goes. Now, before I continue any further and babble on about my life and anything about me, I'm going to give a shout out. Big shout outs to Joey Rules 86. Sorry about missing all those shout outs from you, but ADD, that's all I have to say. ADD. I don't take medicine for it. G Hopper 85 and the rest of Team Truth, Beijing Coke, FGX3, Holy Cheetos, the Team Deck Wreckers, Panda Bear Haha, Chosen Saiyan 96, and Final Judgment 89. Big shout out to all of you guys. Everyone who's subscribed and is going to watch this video, thank you for watching this. You're going to see the other side of T-Bird325. Now, to start off, my name is Ontario Durgan. I'm a level 2 judge for Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been playing this game since college in late 03, and I just happened to see two guys on the floor of the recreational center playing a game with pictures on it, and it looked like Pokemon because I played Pokemon way back when I was in high school, and so it kind of looked cool. And so I sat down there and watched them, and they were playing, and eventually they taught me how to play. So I started off with every starter deck that came out: Yugi, Joey, Pegasus, and Kaiba. Started with all those starter decks and made these decks that I thought I could win. And when you try to get out this big blue eyes first turn, and you were doing it, but it wasn't right. So eventually I was able to get better at the game as time progressed, as the game actually evolved and went from Bandai to Wizards of the Coast to Upper Deck, and now it's at Konami, where it's at its pinnacle. So they're evolving the game more and more as we speak. As far as the game goes, there are certain cards that I actually love to play. One card being Morphing Jar number 1. I mean, who doesn't like to have 5 new cards to restart anything that you can do? I mean, you have 5 back cards already set, a Morphing Jar, have it flipped, 5 new cards, and you can go out on all special summoning for a spree, okay? So, that's one of the things I like about Morphing Jar. Wild Heart. First, if you look at him, to the naked eye, he is a black man with long hair and a big sword, big muscles. But under there, he's unaffected by traps. He is unaffected by traps. So, therefore, I like Wild Heart as well. Even, it doesn't matter that he's a hero. Well, it kind of does matter that he's a hero because it reminds me of myself. I get snared in a lot of traps. And like Wild Heart, I try not to let traps slow me down. I have what's called a superhero complex. That means, like Goku, I will do everything in my power to save anyone and everyone and everything, even if it ends up killing me. That's just who I am. Now, my mother would say otherwise, that I shouldn't be doing that, but that's just how I raised myself, kind of. Not to mention, I have a wild heart. So, if you want to get technical, I have a wild soul. Basically, I border, I won't say light and darkness, but technically, everyone has a light side, everyone has a dark side. So, I have a wild heart. Okay. Also, like Tenkabito Shien, same reason. Only difference is he's a pyro, and yeah, he is your he's your legendary Shogun Shien. Yeah, this is your synchro. Check his armor out. Go ahead, go to Wikia, and you'll find out that that's what it is. Another card I like, before it was limited to one and then came back semi-limited. Yugioh Trio. I flood your field, give you 3 tokens. Compulse 1, give you 3 more tokens. If you can't tribute them off or do something to get them off the field, you're stuck with that. I used to make decks, like my first deck that kind of got people noticing that, well, yeah, he really is Stalwall, which was my persona at the time. I stalled to win. I made decks that stalled and then pecked you slowly until you basically you got mad at me, because you couldn't win way back then when the meta was really slow or seemingly slow. Um, so I give you a Yugioh Trio and hit you with an Naba White Rabbit. It runs away and I'll attack you again next turn. It runs away, attack you again. It runs away. And if I had, I think it is called Spatial Collapse. There we go. Spatial Collapse on the field when you got 5 Yugioh tokens. Basically, you weren't doing anything because even if you turn one to attack position, which no one thought of, to try to ram it into something, well, I'm attacking you directly and running away, so you can't kill the token to get a monster onto the field. Last but not least is this card. I want all of your injections, so PM me, get my phone number. You can text me at this phone number, 337-426-1303. You can text me at that number. I want all of your injection fairy lilies. I have a friend who has 197. I want to beat him. Right now, I only own 6 of them. So, that means I have 194 to go to make 200. I want to beat him in the injection game. Why do you like injection besides the fact you're trying to beat somebody? Well, look at this. Level 3. Alright? Gets under gravity bind and level limit. Look at her attack. 400 attack. Defense is higher than her attack, but her attack is 400 attack points. She will get over anything that is 3300 attack or less. So basically you can throw your biggest monster, as long as it's under 34, she can get over them by paying 2000 life points. Basically, it's an underrated card that I really like, so that's why I'm going to try to collect them and try to get as many as I can. And I give you some background information about myself. I'm from the country, so family was a big part, but I've been kind of losing my way since now I don't live in the country and I live in a bigger city. So it just kind of gets to me that I don't really get to see my family very often as much as I want to, but I did go see them this weekend, so I'm very happy about that. The decks I like to play are smooth and calculated. I don't play decks that are explosive. I do play, however, the Karakura OTK. That right there, that's fun to me because going off on one turn and then have them saying, you know what, I scoop. That's a fun feeling. Although that's not what I'm about. I'm about calculated movements. Anyone who knows me, I'm a logistics expert. So I'm thinking 2 to 3 to 10 steps ahead of anything you've probably done. Even though it'll probably give me a headache. Actually, right now, I do have a headache. I've been having a headache waking up and going to sleep for the past 3 weeks. So, getting back to the subject. I am a level 2 judge for Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. And when you see this, when you see me wearing this shirt, is it backwards? No, there we go. Wearing, oh, well that's why you can't see it, the collar's over. When you see me wearing this shirt, you won't see very much emotion besides happiness. You won't see the other side of me. Normally, I get upset, not upset, but irritated very easily. But you won't see me when I'm wearing that shirt. I experience real emotions like everyone else. Anger, happiness, sad, fear, excitement, sorrow, depression. Sometimes I feel like I'm not as good a person as I should be or could be, and so it kind of gets me down. But then I just pray that it goes away. But obviously, you know, there's going to be someone to step in your path, whether it's in your personal life, your work life, your hobby life, people who call themselves your friends and end up stabbing you in the back. All you can do is, like Jay-Z said, dirt off all your shoulder. Get it off your shoulder. Otherwise, it's just gonna weigh it down on you. It's gonna get as heavy as heaven, like Lupe Fiasco says. Now, Lupe Fiasco Lasers. Go and get that. Go and get that CD. Very, very good CD. Uh, One of his favorite lines that made me cry. All right, this made me cry. If ever you feel um, like you're gonna change some, all you have to do is remember where you came from. Powerful stuff. And that's one thing I'm afraid of is changing too much, because I know I've changed. I'm not the timid little weak boy that I used to be. My whole life up until I graduated high school, I was seen as the weak boy. I was physically weak, emotionally weak, um, smart, cool, calculated, but was still weak. Now you might think, okay, now this weak person is doing exactly like every other weak person who was picked on, bullied. This happened to him. This happened to him. Now that he has this shirt, he's just going to be bullying people. No, that's not what I'm about. What I'm about is teaching people. The reason why I don't consider myself a pro is because pro has a stigma uh, that, oh my god, I'm so much better than you. I'm just going to do nothing more than rip you off. I'm going to cheat you in this game that is made for kids. Well, technically this game ain't made for kids anymore, because there's too many game mechanics that kids won't even understand if you're 6 years old playing this game. It ain't going to happen. Okay? So that's just one of the things I think about. I think about a lot of these card games. Like, I don't play as much as I think. I think about, okay, if I see a card, like this common card, how can I make this card work? I actually made a deck around Unstable Evolution. As soon as that card first came out, I was doing my damnedest to get that one card, to get 3 copies of it, so I could play it with Injection and Spell Striker and Sangan. Why? Because it works really well with all 3 of those cards. You give it to Injection, she goes up to 24. If my life points are lower, I pay 2,000. That ensures that the Unstable Evolution works. 3 Mage Powers and Decree later. Yeah, game. These things I think about. I do think about other games, or maybe trying to quit Yu-Gi-Oh, but I doubt I'll ever quit Yu-Gi-Oh, just because it brings a lot of joy to me. It brings joy to me that I could teach someone how to play this game, and trying to get them to learn tricks that I've learned from other people, and things that I've taught other people, that I've learned myself and taught myself just by reading and saying, oh, this can work with this, or reading these 2 cards, these can counteract each other, or wouldn't this be weird if I did this? So that's one of the things that I tend to think about as far as Yu-Gi-Oh. So if you see me with this shirt, you won't see any arrogance, smug. I'm very humble when it comes to that, but I will try to give you the best ruling. And one thing I won't do is argue with you. If I got that shirt on, I will let you argue your point until you're blue into the face, and as soon as you stop talking, I will give you my judgment, and I will tell you why. And that is what I do as a judge. And you can go behind and say, well, blah 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 and blah blah blah, and someone said this, someone said that. Well, I'm sorry, but that so and so is not correct in their argument. I mean, I've done this a lot of times to people when they give their rulings, or someone says, oh, this is supposed to be this, and it should be like this, and no. Or I'll see someone who's next to someone who's playing a game, and then you say, no, you can't do that, blah 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 blah, and I'll have to happen to see it, and I'll correct them and say, no, you have to keep your eyes on your own mat. They have to do their own, and then I'll give my ruling on that and become the game mechanic, because that's what us judges are there for, to be the game mechanic when the players don't see it. Alright, and that's not being smug, that's not being pro, that is being the greatest noob, aka T-Bert 325, Ontario Durgan. Until next time, you YouTubers, it's been great.